everyone, welcome to the Not So Legal Show. Today I'm going to be talking about the Olympics. And speaking of sports, you'll notice that I'm wearing blue and white for a certain team from Dallas called the Cowboys because football season is on its way and I will be talking about them in future episodes. I'm also going to be talking about legal TV shows, which I really should have just flown in my dad for that one because he is the master of all things TV. I've also got the best hip hop lyrics, so stay tuned for the Not So Legal Show. Hey everyone, welcome to the Not So Legal Show. So the Olympics are over, and I'm sure that if some of you were like me, I really got used to coming home to 4 or 5 hours of DVR footage, whether it was Michael Phelps or Usain Bolt or gymnastics, and now it's just kind of all come to an end. However, I thought the Olympics were amazing. I'm sure all of you did too. I'd love to know what sports were your favorite, so definitely write in and tell me about it. Speaking of TV, we've got to dive into legal TV shows. Now, when I was in law school, I was paid essentially to watch Law & Order, like all 500 episodes, because I had an evidence teacher, evidence is something that's in criminal law, if you didn't know that, hire me in order to use clips that were used in TV to help teach his students about the evidence rules. So why not use that time to talk about the evidence rules here? So one of the things that you'll note always in Law & Order is they're always shouting out things like hearsay. You might wonder, what is hearsay? Hearsay is essentially when you take a statement that's been made out of court and try to use it in court to prove the truth of the statement. Now, hearsay technically is usually not allowed because I'll tell you why. So let's say Tom is being tried for robbing a bank. And Sally, the bank teller, gets on the stand and says, well, I heard Tom's friend Fred, are you keeping all the names straight? Okay, so Tom's the defendant, Sally's the bank teller, right? Fred is the friend. So Sally says, well, I heard Fred told me that Tom did it. Well, if that was allowed, then essentially all jury trials would be pretty short because everyone would say, oh, okay, well, then I guess he did it, right? So that is something that is not allowed. Now, typically in these legal TV shows, they just shout out hearsay and that's that, and there's no real explanation of it. So I thought, why not do a little more explaining? Now, the next thing they usually talk about is double jeopardy. They always try to say, oh, it's double jeopardy. You can't be tried again. Well, what does double jeopardy mean? Well, in a criminal trial, if somebody has already been acquitted of or convicted of a crime, they can't be prosecuted for that same crime. Now, there are situations where you try to say, well, it's not double jeopardy because this was a different set of facts, or it's not the same situation. But usually can't really be tried twice for something. So there you go. You've got hearsay, you've got double jeopardy. One other word you could also throw out is res judicata. Now that essentially means that if there's been a final judgment on the merits, that you can't then retry that situation. So hearsay, res judicata, double jeopardy, use it as a cocktail party and, see if your friends think that you're smart for knowing those words. Speaking of legal TV shows, I have to just throw in this one thing about legal movies because whenever I've asked somebody what's your favorite legal movie, they always say 12 Angry Men. And not like I'd go around asking everybody what your favorite legal movie is, but 12 Angry Men, is it so bad that I just don't like that movie? Everyone says it's a classic and it's so wonderful, but honestly, I hope I never have to see 12 Angry Men ever again. So if you like that movie, please write in and tell me about it because I'm really curious to know why. Now we've got this week's best hip hop lyric, and I have to just sort of put this out there that usually I try to keep everything really positive on this show. So just know that I do want to keep it positive, but I have to just tell you about this one. So I decided to Google hip hop lyrics and the law and lawyer just to kind of see what would come up. And this guy, Lawyer Mike, out of Tennessee came up. Here's the link, it's below. And this guy essentially is a lawyer who has turned into a rapper. And I have to say, I've got to give the guy credit. He definitely makes a good effort, but I would probably say that Mike shouldn't quit his day job anytime soon. Now, on one last Olympic hip hop related note, I have to say that it's pretty crazy they wouldn't let Ryan Lochte wear his USA grills on the podium. They're just diamond teeth. I couldn't believe it. Ryan Lochte, I hope you go out and wear those around town because I thought they were totally awesome. That's it for now. Always remember to honor your power and stay tuned for the next video posting. That's interesting. Well, res judicata should be somewhere in here. Maybe I'll take here somewhere. So weird. Okay, so there you've got it. You've got res.